Hi, good morning. I'm Patrick Williams, a Program Director for Global Poverty Carbon Justice, the Web3 Foundation, which uses blockchain to extend the flexibility of cross-border hedging into capital markets in developing nations across the G77. The pace of growth since the 2008 crash has seen global and G77 wealth doubling twice. This makes FX swap hedging even more crucial today to underpin this economic expansion. Capital markets fuel the growth through equity and debt, where economic expansion manifests. Unfortunately, this can become a burden where economies regress and over-reliance on US dollar funding creates a debt spiral. T5 G77 swap franchises the two leading global technologies to offset this burden. The ultra-high reliability Web3 decentralized blockchain and the ISDA FX swap. Where economies thrive, low-cost funding drives growth. Where they falter, it is important that most of the offshore funding is redeemable in local currency. G77 nations and corporates require access to hedging for growth on an altogether different scale. Banks and financial institutions can no longer authorize this level, which is designed to ensure that the core G20 banking system maintains its fortress balance sheet status. This blocks access for less wealthy G77 nations. T5 G77 swap vertically syndicates this risk across various parties. A settlement bank, a prime broker for shortfall hedges, a tail risk underwriter, and an overshoot insurer. This delegation of risk allows programs of 1 billion to 5 billion to be implemented, maintained, and executed. The G77 swap team uses the latest proofs for correlation, for capital weighting, and for synthetic collateral to restore the flexibility, which was available pre-2008 in the structured credit programs at bulge bracket banks. This is supplemented by T5, highly liquid, fast digital asset pools to dynamically respond to an ever-evolving picture. Please contact our teams and regional SFAs for a demonstration of how we would do this for nations such as Nepal. The European DFIs run a pilot program which demonstrates from first principles how to achieve these goals, but this is in limited size. This is TCX, who have already executed a swap with Nepal. Another demonstration is Athena.fi, which has shown that synthetic stablecoins can achieve the required goal for collateral. The tokens ENA and USDE run on the Ethereum blockchain ERC20, just as does US dollar Tether and the T5 blockchain. Next, we look at the precepts of global poverty carbon justice, what Web3 means, and why carbon is inextricably part of the equation. Developing nations have restricted in capital market access since the 2008 crash. Running into this event, unrestricted and unwise controls allowed a massive rupture in global wealth and growth. Today we have closed this door, but we have been overzealous in restricting riskier markets, which forces the G77 nations to pump excess carbon into our atmosphere as a proxy for this missing finance. We urgently need to fix this for the next generation. Fixing the funding gap will get back to carbon levels last seen at the turn of the millennium. Taper to 5 tons per person states that this level is proven to be sustainable, but should now be equitably shared, not mainly used by the G20 wealthy nations. We recognize the G20 success in cutting their carbon emissions in half and look forward to them doing it again. China also needs to drop back to 5 tons per person. However, India, Sweden, and the UK are already at and need to maintain 5 tons per person. T5 means focus on delivering taper to 5. Most nations in Africa are already meeting this requirement. Web3 is the decentralized consensus form of governance brought by the blockchain. Ethereum follows this mold, while T5 has implemented a further ultra-high reliability blockchain onto the ERC20 core. It uses a dual blockchain, soft fork, and circuit breaker to reset any manipulations of the chain. ISDA also conforms to Web3 precepts, so we set, modify, and maintain, broadcast certain parameters, such as the hedging ratio, the credit spread, and the funding curves for each nation and each corporate. In this way, we can turbo boost the required flexibility in an entirely decentralized forum. This moves out well beyond the confines of ISDA, CSA credit support, IFRS 9 reporting, CRD4 control, MIFID client management, FRTB trading quality control, and thereby gears up the hedge programs from millions to billions, which is what is required. Flexibility is the key. Post-ante reset, contract taper, and bilateral enforceability are primary tools to achieve this level. Please see the website gpcj.org overview pages which give who, what, when, why, and frequently asked questions. We also have the keynote given at Cannes, ETH Digital Asset, review of dialogues at Davos, and Zug Smart Economy pitch deck. Kinshasa Metro ISDA is exactly how we execute. Please take this pro forma, which is on the website, and create your own copy in rupees, in rupee, with your details. This is how our SFAs start the dialogue with the banks. Okay, they take the CCFD, Contingent Credit Risk Insurance, from this Kinshasa Metro document. Obviously, it'll be called the Nepal document, and they give it to the bank so the bank sees where their contingent risk is going to be laid off. The landscape is shown by credit rating and size under the label where. AAA to A are addressed by the banks. There are just not many in the G77. The B to double C, where TCX operate, is the frontier markets. They had hoped to operate in the triple B, double B, single B market, which is the highly profitable core G77 market, going up to 10 trillion and going on to double to 20 trillion over the next 5 years. We're based here in Canada Tower, Canary Wharf, London, on gpcj.org. Please come and visit us or open the dialogue by Zoom. Thank you very much.